So Andrea says, I've not flown long haul. How do you be calm for more than 5 hours? And then Holly, you've also said, yes, you'd like to know the answer to that as well. I don't know the answer. I'll give you some thoughts. So I would ask you, how are you, what are you like the rest of your time? When you're walking around on terra firma, when you're living the rest of your life, are you calm all the time? Are you able to stay calm for more than 5 hours when you live your life normally? Or are there little peaks? So I don't think staying calm for over 5 hours is necessarily the goal here. It's just to know that, well, I've got to plan 5 hours on a flight or 8 hours on a flight, and I'm just going to do whatever I can do to make it as bearable as possible, because, I mean, who wants to just sit still for 8 hours? So staying calm is probably an unrealistic thing. So if I said to you, right, I want you to sit in your sofa, that's a comfy chair, for 8 hours, stay calm, don't move though, just stay calm, you probably find that a challenge. You get a bit agitated, you get frustrated, you want to get up and wander around a bit, and that's in the comfort of your own environment. So I think it's unrealistic to expect to feel calm all the time. You could be excited, for example, that might be pretty cool as an outcome. Hi, Chris. So I think that these are things to practice, to notice that. Also, when you're travelling in a car as a passenger, which is the gateway activity, by the way, to noticing, do I like to be in control all the time? Or you're travelling on a train or in a coach, are you calm then for hours and hours? Or do you find yourself a little bit on edge? So I think you can practice lots of these things without being in an aircraft, because the aircraft is the ultimate experiment, isn't it? But if you can find ways to reassure yourself, calm yourself, and that's why we always bang on about the breathing and stuff, because if you can practice that and get that regulated when you're on the ground, then you've got a much better chance of being able to do it in the air. So it's about not leaving it until you take that flight, avoid it, not think about it, and then wonder why you're freaking out when you get up there, because you've not prepared yourself for it. So if you don't fly very often, or even if you do, but you're doing the same thing every time, you're not going to get a different result. So you've got to keep chipping away at the fear and start to find lots of little ways to help yourself to become more comfortable with discomfort, withstanding discomfort and not being calm or perfectly relaxed all the time, because we're not. And just kind of noticing that happens all the time. You're not always kind of calm. And so that's my tips, is like practice this stuff when it doesn't matter, and then you'll have more resilience and capacity when you then take flights, because you're already practicing a skill. So practicing a learned skill is much more helpful, and in particular managing your breathing and all that sort of stuff, because let's be honest, our breathing is one of the first things to go. The thoughts and all the rest is all connected, but the breathing is the route to helping to manage ourselves, because we can't control anything else. We can't control our thoughts, they just run riot anyway. So the only thing we really have any control over it is regulating our breath, and in particular slowing down the out breath. So if you can only think of one thing, do a slow out breath. So breathe in however you want to, generally the nose or the mouth are the preferred options for most people I've met. But as you breathe out, it's out through the mouth like you're blowing out a tiny candle, like a small stream of air. So the slower and the more deliberate you can do it, the better the response. And what you're trying to do is soothe your body. So if you do this, you'll start to notice a difference. So I'd like you to practice this when you're not flying, just so you can prove to yourself it works. And then you'll become a breathing demon. If that is a thing, that's what you'll become. And then by the time you do fly, you would have had a lot more practice at doing this sort of basic stuff, A lot of people feel a bit sort of uneasy when they're flying because they've had to do lots of planning and running around and bombing to the airport and packing and thinking about stuff and closing off work and